A few years ago, I decided to come to the United States to study painting at the Art Institute of Chicago. My name is Orkideh Torabi. I'm from Iran, but it's about 3 years and a half that I live in Chicago. For a long time, women were the only protagonist of my work. But usually my work were misinterpreted. I was trying to talk about patriarchal society and comment on power structure, but usually they were misinterpreted. So about a year ago, I took this decision to omit women from my work and paint men to talk about women. When I came to BMS, I continued working on the series that I was working on. The good thing about BMS is that you're allowed to work on any project that you want to. For the new body of work, I really needed this figure to be cartoonish with vivid and vibrant color. I used to work with acrylic and oil color. Acrylic and oil color didn't give me that quality that I needed, that translucency that I needed. I started printmaking, monoprinting, and with fabric dye to get that translucency. And one of the qualities that printmaking has is also the element of chance, which has a significant role in my work. Through art history, we always have seen women depicted from the perspective of men. So I decided to turn my back on all stereotypes and I started to depict men from a perspective of a female. I chose humor as a language of my work to mock these societies, these masculine identities. I opted to portray men as a ridiculous, cartoonish figure because with that, I allow myself to challenge male authorities and also these patriarchal societies. So I started developing these characters of figures and portraits. All of them are coming from my imagination. There is no reference for them. There are different type of people who somehow mentally cross my path during my life. All of this work also has a story behind them. They have a separate titles. Each of these titles are kind of related to the story. But at the same time, they are not direct because I wanted to leave enough space for the viewer reaction that I might not anticipate. And I also don't want to manipulate the viewer into a particular point of view. And also, when I paint, I imagine myself as a director who gives this figure a right pose because, the pose that you take on is your identity. Another thing is about my work is that in some of these portraits, these men are missing something, like they don't have a tooth or they have a broken arm or broken neck, because through representing them, disfigured form, I'm trying to emasculate them. As a female, I allow myself to possess their power. When I was in Iran, I did lots of research on Persian manuscript. And during my research, I became very interested in Persian miniatures. After a while, these images, the influence of these images started to appear in my work. I put these figures and portraits in spaces that are decorated with Persian patterns. In Persian pattern, every element of the image is decorated with very beautiful patterns. So by putting these images, these patterns alongside these contemporary men, I'm trying to put the past and present together. It's like past and present become interwoven. I think new work are getting more, there is more playfulness and humor in the new body of work that I did at BMS. So I think they are getting more involved in ridiculous activities. I just developed those characters during my residency here, And also there is a magical floor in this building that you can find anything that you need. So because I do printmaking, I really needed to have a proper table for myself. So I went to that magical floor and I found good tables and made it ready and for printmaking.